Hey, could you hand me a sparkly water?
Sure thing. Here you go.
Thank you.
Hey y'all, it's Christy the Gen X Gypsy and welcome. Today's video is the fourth in a series of videos about how to have an epic road trip Gen X style. Today I'm going to go over a ton of hacks that you can use while you are out there traveling down the road. So if you want to grab a notebook and a pen or pencil, whatever you like to write with, and we'll get started because I have a ton to go over. Number one, you want to make sure that you have an extra key for your vehicle and a place to put it somewhere on the exterior of your vehicle to have in case you lock the key in the car or it gets lost somewhere when you're out having fun. Number two, don't forget to check the weather one last time for where you're going in case you need to make any adjustments in what you've packed. When Mom and I went on the road trip up to Cape Cod and Nantucket, we didn't really quite look at the weather as far in advance as we should have and ended up being extremely cold when we hit Cape Cod. It was the week before Memorial Day weekend and we were freezing. It was like 30 degrees on Nantucket and neither of us had brought appropriate clothing. Needless to say, I have a beautiful Cape Cod sweatshirt that was purchased out of necessity, but makes a fantastic souvenir. Number three, I've talked about this before. You need to have a folder that you've put together with your itinerary and all of the physical addresses and phone numbers for the places that you're going to be staying and seeing along the way. Make sure all of that's in a folder and it's easy to get to somewhere in your car. If you haven't had a chance to watch my last video, which was all about packing for an epic road trip, I will link that up here. In that video, I talk about the need to not only have a bigger cooler in the back of your car for things that you're going to need while you're traveling, but also to have a smaller cooler that you have close to the front seats so that you can easily access your snacks while you're driving down the road. Number five. This is one I do all the time and I kind of forgot to put it in my packing video, and that is to pack a mini kitchen. I would include in there a small cutting board, a smallish sharp knife, a corkscrew, because wine, and a bottle opener, because beer. That way you have your bases covered. If you want to have a little cheese and crackers snack dinner at your hotel room, you can have a little wine, you can have a little cheese, all the good things. Number six, bring your own coffee mugs. I really like these travel mugs that I got in Alaska, but I also like my Swig coffee mug as well. The ones I got in Alaska I use for both wine and coffee, so they're double duty. But the important thing to know about coffee is that when you're out on the road, those big truck stops actually have excellent coffee for a fraction of the cost of Starbucks. I would encourage you to try those truck stops out before you spend all of your money at Starbucks while you're traveling. I am going to talk about a few apps that I would encourage you to look at and think about downloading before you leave on your trip. I will make sure to link them below so you can check them out. The first app is an app you've probably heard about. It's been around for quite a while. It's called the Gas Buddy app, and it helps you find the cheapest gas in the area where you are. Now, download the app and of course take advantage of that if you can, but also don't go way out of your way to get the cheapest gas, because then you might just be wasting money trying to get to wherever the cheapest gas is. It is a great resource to have while you're traveling down the road. And while we're talking about gas, another hack is to go ahead and fill up your tank when you're getting close to a quarter of a tank. I got stuck going over the mountains in Colorado, and because I have a hybrid, I was kind of like nonchalant about where I was with my gas before we hit the point where we were leaving the last less expensive gas to go over the mountains in Colorado. And we got to the top of the mountains, and because we were climbing uphill the whole way, of course I had gone through more gas than I usually do. We got to Vail and it was the most expensive gas I had to buy on the entire trip. I think I ended up spending like $4.75 or $5 a gallon. This was in 2008 where gas was still pretty cheap. That was a lesson to be learned. Always fill up your tank when you're getting close to a quarter of a tank and you have cheap gas around. This next tip you might have seen if you watched my video on packing for the epic road trip, and that is if you are taking a camera other than the camera on your cell phone, like a GoPro or a DSLR camera, make sure to pack it close to you so that you can quickly access it just in case you see something on the side of the road that is unexpected and you want to get out and take a quick picture. Maybe your phone camera isn't going to be able to capture very well. Make sure those cameras are accessible, because that's the whole reason you bring a camera along on a trip, is to be able to capture those really cool moments. This next app is called iExit, and it is an app that you can use to check out what is coming up on the exits down the road from you. So as you're traveling down the interstate, you can see what exit has what restaurant or what gas station or what hotels, so you have a better idea of where you might want to stop along the way. I know for us, my mom is gluten-free, and finding fast food restaurants that we can find something for her to eat at is a little bit of a challenge. Being able to know where those restaurants are going to be when you're getting to that point where you're ready to stop is really, really nice. Instead of getting off of an exit, not finding any place to eat, and having to get back on and go to the next one, it just saves a lot of time, and you can already have that discussion in the car about where you're going to eat, so there's less of an issue. And we're up to number 10 already, and that is to bring a container with coins and dollar bills so that you can use them at the toll roads. That's one of the things that I have failed to plan for in the past, and I have gotten stuck not having enough coins and having to dig around in purses and bags. Have a little container. You do like a little Altoids container or something like that, or little, Tupperware or something that you can just throw those coins and dollar bills in, have it in your little center console so it's easy to get to, and you are ready to go when you hit those potentially unexpected toll roads. Number 11 is one of my favorite hacks, and one that I'm not sure a lot of people know about. If you are a U.S. veteran or a Gold Star family, you are eligible to get a free annual pass to all of the national parks and national forests and national monuments. Basically, anything that has to do with the national park system, you can get free entrance to. Now, it does not cover like your camping fees or any other amenity fees, but it does cover anybody who is traveling with you. So if you have a person in your car who's a U.S. veteran and there's 4 other people in that car, everybody gets in for free. I think it's amazing. Now, they haven't made this a lifetime pass yet. You do have to get one every year, but they are available at any national park that you go to. All you have to do is show your credentials and they will give you all of the paperwork. In addition, there is also a lifetime senior pass that is available if you are over 62 years of age, and that is $80, but $80 for lifetime. And again, this pass will pay for everybody that you are traveling with to get into whatever park or monument or national park service place you are going to. I think it's well worth the $80. Given that most of the entrance fees these days for the national parks are around $20 to $30 per car, $80 seems like a great deal to me. Number 12. Consider carrying cash to pay for eating out. I understand that a lot of restaurants are starting to pass on the 2 to 3% credit card charge to the customers on top of the food cost if they are paying with a credit card. So you'll save a little bit of money if you pay with cash. I don't know how widespread that is yet, but I do know where we're going up in Banner Elk this weekend, that when we were reading the reviews for the restaurants, most of the complaints were about that additional charge that was being put on the bills. So it's something to keep in mind, and a way that you can definitely save money if you pay with cash instead of credit cards. I know, I'd rather pay with credit cards and get my miles too, but you gotta weigh the pros and cons. Number 13. If you or your companions are foodies, you might check out tvfoodmaps.com and see if you can find any restaurants that you may be passing by that have been on TV shows like Diners and Drive-Ins. Or is it Drive-Ins and Diners? I can't remember. And number 14, while we are talking about food, if you are vegan or vegetarian, you should download, if you haven't already, the Happy Cow app to find restaurants that are in the area that have vegetarian and vegan options available. They won't necessarily be just vegan or vegetarian restaurants. They actually show all of the places that have options on their menu. which is nice because then you can go places where everybody can find something that they want to eat. And my last tip, number 15, is to always, always, always ask about discounts. Especially if you have a AAA card, a Better World Travel card, an AARP card, a Costco card, a Sam's Club card, some certain credit cards that have discounts at different places. You never know what discounts places have available unless you ask, because they are almost never prominently displayed. So make sure when you are checking in somewhere, or you're at a restaurant, or you're going to buy tickets somewhere, that the first thing you ask before you hand them any money is whether they have discounts available. And especially if you are a vet or in the military, there are so many discounts available for military and vets these days. Always, always, always ask for those discounts because you deserve them. I'm going to leave you with one more bonus hack, and that is to remember to be patient and flexible with realistic expectations so you can get the most out of your journey and experience. I hope you found a few gems that you can use in those hacks. I love sharing my hacks with you, and I hope you'll share your hacks with me because I'm always looking for new ways to make my travels a lot more fun. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. I have squirrels that like to tumble on my roof. So when I'm looking up, because a big squirrel's jumped on my roof, it just always kind of freaks me out. It sounds like a whole tree has fallen on my trailer.